Welcome to the Western States Regional Genetics Network update. Saying that we've had a busy year since our last regional summit is an understatement. There is no possible way that the network partners could have known a few years ago that you prioritized activities that are so important during this public health emergency. Let's go over a summary of what has happened and what is to come. Telegenetics training. Our region has been working on telegenetics for a long time. The first time we addressed this option for care was in 2004. It was difficult and expensive back then, so it got put on hold until a decade later when we picked it up again in 2014. In order to address concerns from genetics providers that they were never trained to do telegenetics, we developed a formal telegenetics training course. The training course consists of 10 self-paced online modules, 2 webinars, and a one-day in-person training session. CEUs, CMEs, and certificates of completion were provided to trainees. Over the past 3 years, 301 genetics providers have successfully completed our training course. Changes due to COVID-19. The one-day in-person session has been converted to a 4-hour live virtual training session. The simulated sessions have been removed from the training, but we know that most people have some experience with telehealth during the public health emergency. On the upside, a virtual training allows us to train more genetics providers in each session. This fall, we'll be testing how training 50 to 100 providers in one session will work. Telegenetics implementation. Another important aspect of telegenetics is to support implementation. We provide technical assistance and support for equipment and platforms to clinics and genetics providers to begin doing telegenetics. We also support pilot programs for telegenetics to collect data for evidence-based decision-making to support future services. Telegenetics Resources. The Western States Telegenetics Training website has maintained a repository of resources. Changes due to COVID-19. To quickly address the need to get genetics providers ready to use telegenetics, we developed an animated YouTube video highlighting best practices for providers. We also developed an animated YouTube video for families on what to expect from a telegenetics visit, emphasizing receiving telegenetics visits at home. The HRSA Office for the Advancement of Telehealth requested that we update the video for telehealth for a national audience. We created a new set of videos, and they are part of the new U.S. Health and Human Services telehealth website. We also put up a curated page of telegenetics and telehealth resources for providers, such as quick start guides, checklists, equipment guides, policies, and billing and reimbursement information. For families, we developed information about telehealth, checklists, and where to find a telehealth provider. Information about the telegenetics and telehealth videos and resources were disseminated to our Western States partners. From March to July 2020, we have had over 14,000 views of the videos. We're working on the translated version of the What to Expect from a Telehealth Visit in Spanish. Minority Genetic Professionals Network. Our region chose minority communities as one of the underserved populations we wanted to target for improved access to genetic services. One activity to increase access is to recruit more minority students into genetics professions so that they can provide greater access to minority communities. The NGPN provides recruitment activities, a mentoring program, continuing education, and other supportive activities to increase awareness of genetic professions and support entry into a career in genetics. The NGPN also supports practicing minority genetics professionals to become leaders in the profession and mentor prospective genetics professionals. Currently, we have about 400 active members in NGPN, with over half participating in the mentoring program. Family Advocacy Tool, Genetic Resources Education and Advocacy Tool, also known as GREAT. The creative family advocate leaders in the Western States decided that they wanted to develop a web-based tool to help them navigate families to genetic providers and resources based on a parent's need for their child. GREAT has local, regional, and national resources in the database. GREAT has been created and pilot testing is complete. We even tested adding the Family to Family Health Information Center in Connecticut to see if adding an organization outside of the Western States worked. It did. Our family advocate leaders continue to have staff use GREAT in their organizations, help other family advocacy organizations use the tool in their states, and work with other regional genetics networks to plan and implement GREAT for their networks. Communication and information dissemination. We continue to communicate with our Western state partners through our website, social media postings, weekly email blasts, and monthly email updates. You may have noticed that we have a new website design. We hope that you will find the design easy to use. We have also upped our social media game. The Western states and our projects can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We've got some new technology helping us manage the social media to make sure the channel stays active and relevant. Please like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We continue to present information about our projects in peer-reviewed journals, local, regional, and national conferences, and webinars. New cycle of funding. We developed the grant application for Western states and were awarded another 4 years of funding beginning June 1st, 2020. The goal for the Western states is to continue to increase access to genetic services by using telegenetics, facilitate connections to genetic services and resources, increasing minority genetic providers, and supporting outreach services. There's a lot of work to do to help improve access to genetic services, especially as we navigate through a public health emergency. We know that we can build on the strength of our past work and strong partner collaborations to be successful. Thank you for all you do to help families stay healthy and well, and for supporting the work that we do together in the Western States Regional Genetics Network.